Hi, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to read Chapter 11, The Miracle, today in our book, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So, let's talk about a couple of things first. What has happened so far? Charlie found $1 in the gutter. Woohoo! He is starving. Oh, his stomach is so empty. I'm hungry. So he's going to buy one candy bar and then give the rest of the money to his mom so she can buy food for the family. Charlie's such a good boy. All right. Now, the chapter is called The Miracle. A miracle is something wonderful, fantastic, amazing, impossible, but true. So, what could be impossible but true for this story right now? Well, we know that 4 kids found the golden tickets. There's one left, and Charlie has not found it. Let us go ahead and get started, and I'll bring up the text for us right now. So, the miracle. Please follow along with me while I read the words, and I want you to listen carefully to the story. The miracle. Charlie entered the store and laid the damp dollar bill on the counter. "One Wonka's Whipple Scrumptious Fudge Mallow Delight," he said, remembering how much he loved the one he had on his birthday. The man behind the counter looked fat and well-fed. He had big lips and fat cheeks and a very fat neck. The fat around his neck bulged out all around the top of his collar like a rubber ring. He turned and reached behind him for the candy bar. Then he turned it back again and handed it to Charlie. Charlie grabbed it and quickly tore off the wrapper and took an enormous bite. Then he took another and another. And oh, the joy of being able to cram large pieces of something sweet and solid into one's mouth. The sheer blissful joy of being able to fill one's mouth with rich, solid food. "You look like you wanted that one, Sonny," the shopkeeper said pleasantly. Charlie nodded, his mouth bulging with chocolate. The shopkeeper put Charlie's change on the counter. "Take it easy," he said. "It'll give you a gut ache if you swallow it like that without chewing." Charlie went on wolfing the candy. He couldn't stop. And in less than half a minute, the whole thing had disappeared down his throat. He was quite out of breath, but he felt marvelously, extraordinarily happy. He reached out a hand to take the change. Then he paused. His eyes were just above the level of the counter. They were staring at the little silver coins lying there. The coins were all dimes. There were 9 of them altogether. Surely it wouldn't matter if he spent just one more. "I think," he said quietly, "I think I'll have just one more of those candy bars. The same kind as before, please." "Why not?" the fat shopkeeper said, reaching behind him again, taking another Whipple Scrumptious Fudge Mallow Delight from the shelf. He laid it on the counter. Charlie picked it up and tore off the wrapper. And suddenly, from underneath the wrapper, there came a brilliant flash of gold. Charlie's heart stood still. "It's the golden ticket!" screamed the shopkeeper, leaping about a foot in the air. "You've got a golden ticket! You've found the last golden ticket! Hey, what do you know? Come and look at this, everybody! The The kids found Wonka's last golden ticket. There it is! It's right there in his hands! It seemed as though the shopkeeper might be going to have a fit. In my shop, too! He yelled. He found it right here in my own little shop. Somebody call the newspapers quick and let them know. Watch out now, Sonny. Don't tear it as you unwrap it. That thing's precious. In a few seconds, there was a crowd of about 20 people clustering around Charlie, and many more were pushing their way in from the street. Everybody wanted to get a good look at the golden ticket and the lucky finder. Where is it? Somebody shouted. Hold it up so all of us can see it. There it is. There, someone else shouted. He's holding it in his hands. See the gold shining? How did he manage to find it, I'd like to know? A large boy shouted angrily. 20 bars a day I've been buying for weeks and weeks. Think of all the free stuff he'll be getting, too, another boy said enviously. A lifetime supply. He'll need it, the skinny little shrimp, a girl said, laughing. Charlie hadn't moved. He hadn't even unwrapped the golden ticket from around the candy bar. He was standing very still, holding it tightly with both hands, while the crowd pushed and shouted all around him. He felt quite dizzy. There was a peculiar floating sensation coming over him, as though he were floating up in the air like a balloon. His feet didn't seem to be touching the ground at all. He could hear his heart thumping away loudly somewhere in his throat. At that point, he became aware of a hand resting lightly on his shoulder, and when he looked up, he saw a tall man standing over him. Listen, the man whispered. I'll buy it from you. I'll give you $50. How about it, eh? And I'll give you a new bicycle as well, okay? Are you crazy? Shouted a woman who was standing equally close. Why, I'd give him $200 for that ticket. You want to sell that ticket for $200, young man? That's quite enough of that, the fat shopkeeper shouted, pushing his way through the crowd and taking Charlie firmly by the arm. Leave the kid alone, will you? Make way there. Let him out. And to Charlie, as he led him to the door, he whispered, Don't let anybody have it. Take it straight home, quickly, before you lose it. Run all the way and don't stop till you get there. You understand? Charlie nodded. You know something? The fat shopkeeper said, pausing a moment and smiling at Charlie. I have a feeling you needed a break like this. I'm awfully glad you got it. Good luck to you, Sonny. Thank you, Charlie said, and off he went, running through the snow as fast as his legs would go. And as he flew past Mr. Willy Wonka's factory, he turned and waved at it and sang out, I'll be seeing you! I'll be seeing you soon! And 5 minutes later, he arrived at his own home. You guys! The miracle! We didn't think it would happen, but it did! Charlie found the last golden ticket. It's a miracle. All right, the beginning of the chapter says wolfing, which means eating very fast and very furiously. Remember how hungry Charlie is? He's starving. And so he buys a candy bar. And then he's looking at his money. He's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can buy one more. So he buys one more chocolate. And it was a flash of gold. Look at, bing! Right? The little gold sparkling It's so exciting. There it is. He found it. It's a miracle. Okay. The chapter ends with the shopkeeper saying, "You needed a break like this." Now, sometimes we might think of a break as like breaking our arm or breaking our leg, and so we're in a cast. But what this means here is that sometimes you needed a chance. You needed something special. And so the shopkeeper is looking at Charlie and he sees how hungry he is, how poor he looks. And the shopkeeper goes, "You know what, kid? You probably deserve something good happening to you." Which is true because Charlie is a good person and he deserves something good to happen to him. We see these four other rotten kids and they all get something special. Why can't Charlie get something special? And he did. Charlie got the special prize. All right, so what happened? Charlie did it. He found the fifth and last golden ticket, and now he gets to go visit Wonka's chocolate factory. All right, that's all for now. Hope you enjoy this chapter. It's a lot of fun. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.